level with me. What's the point of roleplay in TTRPGs, and is it really important? Hello and welcome to Level With Me, the YouTube channel we can level up our TTRPG experience together. My name is Will, and today we're going to be discussing the whole idea of roleplay in Dungeons & Dragons and other TTRPGs. First off, let's get this out the way right from the jump. Roleplaying is not the be-all and end-all of TTRPGs and playing a character. Nowhere does it say that you have to put on a Southern American accent, don a monocle, and pretend to be Rex, the country musician who's in the city to get some new ideas. See what your city slickers have to offer me. I don't know why I chose a South American accent. It is not my strongest accent. Musical theatre degree, don't you know? You are there to have fun with your friends. How you do that is up to you. You don't have to all be massive role players to tell an interesting, passionate story. But today, we're going to be discussing the benefits of roleplay and why you should dip your toe into the role-playing pool. It's cold in there, but trust me, you'll warm up real... I have a script here. That is not in the script at all. 2 months away, by the way. 2 months away. Today, we're going to be discussing the benefits of roleplay at the table and why it can help both players and the DM. But before we jump into the video, just a reminder that this table works with shared XP, so any tips, tricks, or thoughts on the subject, leave them in the comments below to dish out some XP to the other players in our community, and I'll be sure to check them out as well. So the clocks went forward in the UK yesterday, and I can still see the sunlight coming through my blinds at 7:30 at night. And what a fantastic day to be recording some D&D videos inside. Am I right? Anyway, what is roleplay, and is it just acting? I don't believe so. Whilst being in a stage show or a musical is fun, I've done it a number of times, it's strict. There's very little play to putting on the show. Whether you miss your mark, you forget a line, or you misplace an important prop that's relevant to the scene, it's going to have a ripple effect for the entirety of the cast at that moment. I am stage combat trained in both hand-to-hand combat and rapier and dagger, but there have been so many times in the rehearsal room where me and my scene partner, we'll misstep a bit of the choreography for the fight, and we have to straight up, hands up, get out of there, pull back, because someone will get hurt if it goes wrong. Whereas roleplay, to me at least, is more fluid. I don't want to use the term it's improvisational because there's always some structure and some context to the scene that's playing out at the table. However, there is no script to learn, there is no paying audience to throw tomatoes at you if something goes wrong, unless you're this person in my comment section who claims that someone at their table actively throws things at the other players. Hey! Stop that! And at the end of the day, you can mold any situation that your character is a part of just by using your imagination. No word of a lie, this is why my fiance is not interested in playing D&D. When we were at drama school together, she hated the 8 weeks we spent on improv. She just did not like it. It was her least favorite semester of the year. But I guess that is why some people find the idea of roleplay and improv unnerving. It's the uncertainty and the mentality of, what if I fail? I'm gonna let you know now, there is no paying audience. You will not get booed off the stage. You will not get the old hook into the wings. Everything will be fine, I promise. It's not like you're on a West End or Broadway stage. If a mistake happens, so what? Shit happens. We move, we adapt, we play D&D. It's actually something to be discussed at Session 0. Is that something that people would enjoy in their campaign? How much roleplay and improvisation are people comfortable with, or would they prefer to be briefed about what could happen in each session? But let's discuss what can come from role-playing and improvising at the table if you feel it's something that you do want to try out. It helps you understand your own character. Roleplaying can help you understand your character better. It's all well and good writing words on a page and calling it a backstory, but when you're thrust into a situation at the table, what do you do? What do you, as your character, do. If you think like your character, then you're going to be showing empathy and sympathy and understanding from your character's perspective. Then you'll be more invested in the consequences of the party's actions. I've just realized I have a spot sticker on my nose still. I've been recording for 13 minutes. My fiance said I had to stay there for a few hours, so I have to keep it on there. Ah! Don't look at it! Stop! I should be wearing my glasses. These are filthy. Bloody hell. See? These sit on my desk. And I've not recorded in 2 months. So just dust more than marks. There's bloody dust on my glasses. Reacting to situations that are laid out in front of you, whether that be dialogue with an NPC, a sudden plot twist, or even reacting to a dice roll, can all be integral to you investing in the roleplay. Let's think of it this way. A nat 1 is exciting, something mad's gonna happen. A nat 20 is exciting, you've succeeded, the best possible outcome. But how do you, as your player, react to a 10? Because if I'm a rogue and I get a 10 sleight of hand or 10 with my my thieves tools and I don't manage to break the lock, am I gonna carry that for the rest of the day? I'm a rogue, I should be able to, this is my bread and butter, I should just be able to do this. Or am I a character that you can just brush it off and laugh it off and hey, I'll get it next time? That's things to think about as you're role-playing. How would your character truly react to you rolling a 10? Subliminally, no matter how big or small you react to the scenario happening in front of you, it's going to strengthen your ties to your character's mindset. Your 12-stage backstory is just ink on paper unless you can reflect on how it is influencing your character's present. I once had a player whose character was from a big foster family. Their parents always took in children who were in need, and she was one of the oldest. When the character became of age, she headed out with the other soldiers of the town to give aid to other nearby villages who needed it. And in all honesty, it was such a lovely, wholesome backstory that I struggled to fit it into the campaign. Truly, I found it difficult. There was no bad guy, there's no no nemesis. I was like, what do I do with this? And then it hit me when I was planning a combat. A minion of the BBEG had taken to a small fishing village in the north of the region when the players discovered that he was going to double cross them and hand them in to the Emperor. That one. This is the fishing village. When the party confronted him and started combat, he decided to go out with a bang. He transformed into a flame elemental and tried to take everything down with him. So I described him going into the marketplace, burning it down, tearing it apart, and also described that they could hear the faint cry of a child from an upturned cart. And I did this specifically for this player's character because I knew she embodied the character so well. The character decided to ignore the flame elemental as the main task. She dodged, ducked, dipped, dived, and dodged her way to get to the upturned cart to protect the child because she has come from this massive foster family and this caring family unit that helps children in need. And that's when I knew my player truly knew how to roleplay her character. Roleplaying can help build character bonds. I think that the pressure people feel when it comes to improv and roleplay in TTRPGs is that they feel that they need to either be battle-hardened and dramatic, or comedic and funny, or hard-hitting and sentimental. You don't. You really, really don't. Case in point, Oxventure Weirdwood. In Oxventure's second campaign, Weirdwood, the players Andy, Mike, and Luke spent 10 minutes of a 50-minute video discussing whether their characters could throw a bucket over a roof. But we forget that in-game, our characters are normal people. When they're not fighting beholders and gnolls, when they're just like setting up camp for a long rest, these mundane conversations are going to happen. Think about it. When you're at the pub with your friends in real life, not every conversation is political and hard-hitting, is it? No, most of them are stupid and about nothing. Personally, I actually find it quite hard to organically bring up things from my backstory in-game, so I actually find it really helps me flesh out my character more by having these stupid, boring conversations, because then it either offers me or another player the opportunity to go, oh, this kind of links to the thing I experienced when my character was little, and it helps, whether you've written it down or not, whether this is an in-the-moment idea, flesh out your character. And in turn, it allows your character to open up a little bit to the other characters in the scene. So the blue-haired DM and I, when we used to work together, got into this whole conversation of backstory and improv, and he said that it was just in some random minor conversation that his character said, oh no, I really don't like spiders. And then he stuck with it. And then the DM planned encounters with spiders based in them so that Rob, the blue-haired DM, could react to it and embrace his character's arachnophobia, which I think is fantastic from the DM because they're picking up these little notes that the players have said in character and they are using it to form a story. It helps both you and the DM when you have these mundane conversations. Role-playing can help improve your lateral thinking. After this long in the video and the fact that I forgot that I'm wearing a spot sticker on my nose, you can probably assume that I am not a smart man. I'm not a smart man. However, occasionally, my characters really are. Like, when I'm involved in a game, when I am immersed in a situation, I somehow, like, ascend to another plane of intelligence. I'm thick as shit, just to let you know. In my last game, as of writing this script, I came up with an entire sting operation in 2 minutes. Like, everything just clicked, and we got to doing the plan, and then I almost it up immediately. That's a story for another day. We attract an elusive group to an exclusive members club in the North District of town. The group that we were tracking were going to have a meeting in one of the rooms about the evil doings they were going to carry out over the next couple of days. So I came up with this plan. The 2 police officers in our group book a room so we can stay the night and then order room service, asking for a specific NPC to bring the food. This is because that NPC was the solo waiter for the group we were tracking. After doing that, the 2 police officers commandeered a meeting room across the hall from the evil party so that we could stake them out. I then said that our changeling in the group should stand nearby out of sight so they can catch a glimpse of this NPC going to the room to deliver the food so that he could assume that personality and get access to the evil team's meeting. Then I, with my shadow touch feats, would turn invisible and wait in the room and wait for the NPC to come in. I left a note on the bed saying, please leave the food on the writing desk furthest in the room. So when they walk past me, I can sneak out of the room, shut the door behind me, and smash the lock from the outside, meaning the NPC couldn't escape and there will be no crossover between our changeling and the NPC. And I think that was a pretty bloody good idea to come up with so quickly. But my point is that I'm not that intelligent. I go through my day basically improving. If whatever happens, I react to it and we go from there. So how did my private investigator character just come up with this idea in such a short amount of time? Because I cared about the plot, because I cared about the outcome of my character, I somehow switched my brain on and I was invested. I was role-playing the character, coming up with this idea. This plan comes out of nowhere and the whole party runs with it. But it's because I'm so invested in my character and the situation that we're playing out that I can think about things from an entirely different angle. My private investigator character's brain just switches on. Meanwhile, me, as a very Cornish human, we have a saying in Cornwall that we'll do it directly. Directly means, don't worry about it, we'll do it later, it'll all be fine. And that's why the taxman came after me 5 years ago. My characters have the ability to solve world-ending problems in their universe. Meanwhile, me, I just have to solve the problem of how I'm paying my rent this month. You role-playing assists the DM. Everybody has their own personality before getting to the table, obviously. So, adopting a different personality when you're at the table, no matter how slight, can really assist the DM. This is because they can see how the character, not the player, feels about a certain situation. For example, if a character does not like an NPC, that is useful information to the DM because they can switch the scenario and see how it plays out and cater to the character more. The Dungeon Master is going to be playing a lot of personas through your 4-hour session, lots of personalities, physicalities, emotional states. So if the player doesn't really give much back, then that's going to be really hard for the DM to read. This means that in the long run, it's going to be harder for the Dungeon Master to find suitable plot hooks that they are sure that the character's going to care about and would be invested in. Otherwise, they're just kind of wasting their time throwing random plots out that the players and the characters just don't care about. In a character I played in, there was an NPC called Trig that the entire party loved. Except for one character who hated this human fighter Knight of the Realm character. But it's because of this that Trig kept coming back. Let's make this clear. The player didn't hate Trig, the character hated Trig. And I think it was funny because we were a group of mates and the DM was our mate, so the DM kept bringing him back because he brought a different dynamic to the group and it pitted the group against each other. I'm pretty sure my character was canonically bisexual and he just like swooned for Trig. But it was because this player disliked Trig so much that it was so funny, and the DM knew that anytime an NPC was needed to help out, Trig would bring a different dynamic to the session. In hindsight, maybe Trig was included in that character's backstory somewhere. Really didn't think about that at the time. Getting invested in the roleplay can help you detach from real life. Life is hard sometimes. Over the last couple of months since I last recorded, I have started a new job. I'm now a 9-to-5 kind of guy, and it is exhausting when I get home. Honestly, I thought it was going to be easy. I am tired when I get home now. Also, I've had a small fire in my flat in that time. I bought a bike, and that bike got stolen. But when I play D&D, I forget about that. I forget that I'm so exhausted after the day that I just want to sit down. Because I'm playing in a fantasy realm, I forget that I wasted money on a bike because it was stolen, and I forget that my landlady bought us a fire extinguisher just in case. Yeah. Life is hard. Dungeons & Dragons can be an escape for 3 hours. Once a week, there are no cars that you get fines on, no boss asking you to stay late for work, no thoughts about being 30 this year and not being able to afford a house, and you get married in less than 7 months and you're so far away from your target budget. You forget about that and just enjoy the game! Really hope this isn't, I can't tell, my eyesight is so bad, like this far away, I can't tell in the viewfinder if you can really see this spot sticker. At drama school, we were told that you leave your problems at the door so you can fully embody the character. The difference between that and game night is that in the theatre world, in the rehearsal room, the cast is so large, there's going to be times that you're sat to the side and you can't help but think and talk about real life. However, at game night, it's obviously a smaller cast of players, so you're always doing something and you don't think about what's going on in the outside world. It is just you, some dice, some minis, and a map, and your friends playing a game. TTRPGs can truly be that little endorphin rush that we crave, the dopamine that our brains need. So if you're fully role-playing your character, then even just for a few hours, you'll forget about the worries you have. And that is something I think is incredible about role-playing in TTRPGs. And scene! I was role-playing that entire time. Ha ha ha! Could you tell? This is my real voice. Not in the script, is it? Just not in the script. What am I doing? And that has been 5 reasons why you should give role-playing a go in your Dungeons & Dragons and TTRPG sessions. Any tips, tricks, or thoughts on this subject, leave them in the comments below to dish out some XP to the players in our community. I'll be sure to check them out as well. And I will see you in the next session. Thank you very much.